Hello, this is Cheryl, and I'm so grateful you're joining me today. Trust that this safe and loving space is exactly where you are meant to be, to ignite your higher self and empower you in this very moment in time. There are no coincidences, so trust the nudges that call to you. As I open, channel, and share today's light-filled conversation, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. We are all working to uncover the truths that will serve us on our unique journeys. Each new day brings discovery, and this truth is always empowering, illuminating, and available to us. Now is your moment to deepen your spiritual connection. If it's light, it's right. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of It's Light, It's Right. This episode is a little different than ones I've done prior. This one talks about a concept where some that are not open to their pure light would find fear. And I want to ignite, I want to just extinguish that. I want to put your religion or your religious beliefs in fear. I want you to put away for this one, because love and light always conquer. And so I want to talk about what I call the left door, which is spirit's choice of home, and it is not heaven. It is not the lighted realm. Is not where God is present. And so I want to just talk about that briefly, and I want to just expel, um, from my spiritual perspective and what I've seen and heard and been told, what that is, what the left door is. So let's start talking. And I chose to use this because it gets brought up so often in conversations in so many different realms of my being. So I chose to use this share as a FAQ, frequently asked questions. Like, I'm really confused. It won't encompass it all. But I will say too, our hearts have all these answers, but leave your fear and leave the rules and judgment of sometimes religion out there. I am going to touch upon a lot of different pieces, but again, your heart knows the same knowledge. So when we talk about this topic, we have to talk. This is the biggest aspect of foundation for this episode is free will. It is a divine gift that every spirit is given. Free will to choose what our spirits want to do. So every spirit has it, and it's never taken away. It's never, you're not doing the right thing, so I'm going to take it away. We always have our free will. And so every spirit decides what it needs. And that's not with judgment, never with judgment. So I'll always kind of remember that as well. So when we incarnate from the other side, we make many choices, but we cannot change what we did on the earth's plane. And when I say that, no matter how horrific it was in a prior lifetime, that coat must come back on. And so when I say that, sometimes, and again, I talk about this in episode, I think it was 42, Grayscale, we have lighted spirits. That means spirits that choose divine light, heaven, peaceful eternity, God, that have done some really unspeakable acts on Earth's plane. Examples could be abusers in every sense, even murderers. Those kind of earthly beings, they come down. Sometimes it is part of path for them to be those people because they were those people in a prior lifetime. And if you can just open your heart, because this is a really deep, in lighted episode, you really have to be really hear your light in your heart. And I want to keep reminding you to keep it there, because all aspects of light are light. All aspects of free will and God and divineness are light. Our ego kicks in, our preconceived thoughts move us to fear, and I want to move you away from fear. I want to expel those elements that you have maybe hardlined in your earthly thinking or been told, and I want you to open your heart to the light. Fear does not reside there. And so when we talk about people that incarnate and have this darkness that walks on this plane, those same spirits move back to the other side because they choose God's light. They choose when we are those horrific human form individuals that commit these heinous acts, and we do move to the other side. We first, all that junk, all that. I can't even say junk because it's so exponentially more than that. Stays on this earth plane, and they beautifully go to the other side. They meet with spirits, highly evolved spirits that comfort them, that I call it like almost cocooning, and help them heal and see their aspects of what they did on the earth's plane, not with judgment, but with pure love. With pure love. And should they ever incarnate again, and it's always the spirit's choice. Remember, spirits don't carry those sins. That's a religious piece. Those wrongdoings, they don't carry that to the other side. It all remains on this earth's plane, available, very dark and heavy karma coat that they will need to put back on. We can't just come back and say, all right. Again, this talks about the shades of gray in episode 42. Is I'm not going to, I did these awful things, but I'm going to come back. I'm just going to put a check mark to there. I'm going to come in and X, Y, or Z. You can't. You earn where you are in your lighted aspect. So they earned what their code is. But remember as well, when you can really open to spiritualism, remember, keep kicking fear. Every time you feel that angst of fear, kick it away. Say, okay, I can acknowledge truth. Maybe this is an aspect. Maybe I'll talk about pieces that you're like, nope, checking out on that. Beautiful. Not ready, throw it out. Maybe listen to another aspect. So again, keep that fear very low. This is about light. This is about understanding truth to dispel that. Fear doesn't reside in our spirit, in our light. Just truth and understanding. And your light is higher than anything that is not light. Always remember that. And I will thread that through many times in this episode. You are untouchable with your light and your free will. You are untouchable. And so when those spirits come back down, they are part of some of our challenges. In our prior lifetimes, we have come across these lighted, dark souls, right? And when I say dark, I mean dark is in terms of heaven, right? They still choose heaven. They still choose divineness. The episode that I'm going to get to is those that do not choose heaven. But they're not evil and dark always that we anticipate. So I'm going to talk about that in a second. I really just want to start us there because there's many, in terms of numbers, 99.9% of the spirits that are here on this earth's plane will choose heaven. And choose the light no matter what they did on this earth's plane, because there's no judgment. But again, if they choose to come back, they might be the challenges that we choose in a prior lifetime or in the next lifetime to be the recipient of what they will come in to be doing. We choose parents that are abusers for not, that's not a happy reason, but we come for challenge to ascend our souls higher to our Lord God. And that's why I didn't do this episode for many episodes, because I really wanted you to hear my light and hear our light all through the episodes prior to really understand the trueness of our journey and of our path. And this is a deeper one that I truly chose not to do until I've done the 50 or the years worth of episodes prior. So there's no fear in this episode because our free will is always stronger than any spirit. Always, light always wins. So when we choose to return home, remember we have free will. 99% of the time, our spirits and our spirit loved ones will choose heaven, which is the eternal light. Any and all who are open their hearts to God, source, divineness, are always welcome. No one's turned away. No one is turned away, despite anything that they might do on this earth's plane. If your spirit wants, it comes, and God just accepts you with love. Always, always, always. So when we incarnate from the other side, we make many choices, but we can't change what we did on the earth's plane, no matter how horrific. That quote must come on. And I have to say too, because of that, darkness walks on this plane of existence, even when their heart is of light. They might be completely asleep, and they have to be completely asleep if they're dark on this earth's plane. But they are light in their heart. And I really need you to, even if your emotion doesn't want to go there, understand that just with concreteness. Anyone that chooses light comes back, despite what they did on this earth's plane. Despite, I'll just tell you one aspect that I hope will kind of show this example. I had a reading, and this woman came in, and her it was about her sister-in-law and her brother-in-law. And her brother-in-law was that dark shade, was that also person that fell off path, or kept on path, but did a horrific act. So he, through his humanness, killed her sister-in-law and then killed himself. And they had a small child. That child was left unscathed, unhurt. But he killed that sister-in-law, and then he killed himself. And certainly she was in grief and anger and all aspects of earth, completely understandable. And in the reading, the sister-in-law came through, and she said, "Is that bastard there too?" And although I wouldn't say I've said that without her asking, but her asking needed to know, and I said, "He is. He is there. He is not that same spirit. That he's not that same person that you remembered. In fact, they came in together." And that is how our spirits work. And that is really, really difficult for our humanness to void out all those strong earthly emotions that just, make it so difficult to see the light. But that is the 1% of us, right? 99% human, 1% light. That's the 1% that has no hurdles, that has no challenges, that it's an A to B, that understands our journey, and then accepted that journey. And accepted that journey for reasons of their soul's purpose, or those that are remaining here on this earth's plane. So you have to really open to your 100% of your 1% of light, to really sit with that, because it is not an easy thing, and it's okay not to. If that's too painful, or that is unimaginable, then you toss that in the garbage and leave it there. There's no rules on grief. There's no rules on understanding that. It is easier for someone on the outside to see that, because you are not invested in those emotions. But again, those dark human existence, they have light in their heart. They will go back to heaven, to the lighted source. Absolutely be counseled in understanding of what they chose as a human, and they will have to make choices should they choose to incarnate again, because they would have to pick up a coat of that. But again, we come in with challenges. We come in with acknowledgement that those are individuals in human flesh that will give us the challenges that we chose. And sometimes they give us more than we chose, but we come with that contingency. So 99.9%, kick out that fear if you have any, kick it out, boop, 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 goodbye. 99.9% of spirits that leave the earth's plane and return home to eternal light. Your loved ones are there. Your loved ones are there. A small percentage of that 1/10 stay on the earth's plane. They remain here by their free will, and they are ghosts. They are not spirits yet, because they did not choose to move to the other side. They are what I define as a ghost. They're still here on the earth's plane. They still gain earth's energy. They have not chosen to go home yet. for reasons of their free will choice. Generally, it's sometimes it's judgment for maybe things that they did on this earth's plane. Their consciousness is just very strong, and sometimes they're waiting for loved ones, even though those loved ones have been on the other side for centuries in Earth's time. So they have their own reasons, but it is their free will's choice to stay on the Earth's plane. But know that loved ones and spirit guides will always keep visiting them, encouraging them to come over. And you, for those of you that are open to that, you might also be visited by ghosts that are looking for you to release them back to the lighted realm. I had a reading just recently, and I see ghosts, so I will move them to the lighted source. Sometimes they just need a little nudge, and our beacons are so strong here on this earth's plane when we are open to light that they are very much attracted to us, or they're nudged towards us. They just need sometimes a little nudge to move back home. And so I had a person that said, I saw this vision, and I said, that was a ghost. And she says, I really felt it was. And I told her to go to the light, and I felt it went. I go, because it did. And that's what was channeled to me as well. But and she's like, I knew it. And I said, your light is that beacon. We are helpers here in our spirits. Our consciousness and our humanness sometimes have to be told that and validated that, but we are half spirit and half physical. We're here. We are God's center in our heart, and in the most minuscule of percentages choose neither, and they choose what I call the left door. And it is a gateway. It's a symbolized word that was given to me. Maybe it's a word that you use. In certain religions, people name it a word named hell. And I feel like they name it hell to build fear in our decisions. Conform or else. Damnation awaits you. Fire and brimstone, you will be burned. There's Satan and evil and all those, that ugliness. I am going to tell you that does not exist. That is a fear, and um, uh, that is something that religion's birth that does not exist. And I am going to just take a quick break, and I am going to move you into what left door looks like and feels like, because I've seen it. I have not been in it. I would never choose to go in it, but I have seen it. I have been given that vision. So stay tuned, and we'll get into our FAQs. I'll be right back. So the left door. And I'm choosing that word because I feel, first of all, I don't feel it's hell. I was brought up on a religion of Catholic and Christianity, and hell was certainly the fear, and all those pieces that were kind of brought forward that mean that there is no devil, there is no Satan. I cannot say there's not darkness that does not reside there, but it's not the evil that we perceive. Again, like I mentioned, on our Earth's plane, there's a lot of darkness and um, a lot of bad things happen to us on this Earth's plane. And so this Earth's plane, because it's so emotional, can have so much of this motion that goes undetected because our emotions are so strong. So again, keep in perspective that the left door does not mean evil. It does mean darkness, though. And it means darkness because they did not choose the light. They do not have light in their hearts. It can mean that they are very dark, but it could mean they're just void of light. So stay open to that. And again, move that fear away. I can guarantee you that you have been around the shades of gray, the lighted darkness that exists out there. And I am with you in your love and support if it is truly in your path right now. And I can guarantee you that you have been in the presence of left door spirits as well. And I'll give you a few little small examples of my experience of left door spirits. So again, they walk seamlessly, uh, but our light, and our free will conquers all. Do not fear. So, what does a left door look like? And when I was given this vision, I was given this vision from the perspective of heaven, or from the lighted source, other side. So I was looking down, and I was given that vision. In the left door, it has a very low frequency, which for those of us that feel that in our light, when you're in spirituality, you have a very high frequency, and when you're on the other side, it's an extremely high frequency, and that's why mediums have to. I call it like almost a spiritual dance to match their frequencies, because we mediums can speak collectively to the other side, but again, we are in human form, so we have to move in higher our frequencies. They have to lower their frequencies to meet and to communicate. But a left door does not have any of that. It's a very low vibe. It's a low frequency. It's heavy versus the high frequency that the lighted side has. It's the exact opposite. And so when I was shown the vision, I saw it from looking above and looking into a hole, looking into like almost a hole in it, a cavern, and it was void of light. It was all of darkness. It had no emotion of light in it, and truly not much emotion at all in any sense. It was just void of all. And I saw spirits kind of just walking in circles, just kind of looping, never resting, just continuously walking in the darkness, in the light. Again, no fire and brimstone was my vision, and I knew what I was looking at, and I felt it. I felt that heavy frequency, and I knew what I was looking at, and what I was being told. And so let me get more into the FAQs, and I hope I touch upon one that speaks to you. But again, your heart can ask anything, or email me. I'll be happy to answer, or channel an answer for you, because I don't have all my answers. I have my collective knowledge, but sometimes I get answers. I'm like, oh, I'm going to look into that. I'm going to see and feel and hear what speaks to me on that. And I always encourage you to do the same as well. Don't take what anyone says, but open your heart to feel it. And again, especially in this episode, don't feel fear. There's no fear here. There's only light. Your light is stronger than anything. So first question is, why do some spirits not choose heaven? And remember, a minuscule amount. And the answer just simply is they do not welcome light of God into their hearts. For whatever reasons their spirits choose that, they are absent of that light or wanting that light. Does God ever stop any spirit from entering? And just as I said earlier, no. Despite anything that you did, God welcomes every spirit with open hands and open arms and love. Any spirit that wants to enter is entered. Even spirits that choose to be a ghost or not choose to come home right away. Even spirits that choose the left door. They are welcome back again. Because yes, just like ghosts, their guides are constantly coming to them, encouraging them to return home. They are not forsaken. They are not lost forever. It is their soul's choice. It is their free will choice to choose whatever they choose, but they are never left behind. And they do move. They do move to the other side. They are not reckoned, and they are not punished, and they are not forsaken. They are always welcome into God's kingdom. Did these spirits ever incarnate back into the earth? Coming back into? And I have to answer yes and no, because again, this is such a a broad topic. So I'm going to really try and stay very basic and foundational. These spirits can choose to return to the earth's plane, but not through reincarnation. And that's why I chose that word. And I use that word reincarnation, incarnating again, because when our spirits do choose that, we choose path. We choose challenges that because we want to send our soul to divineness, to our light. So when we reincarnate, we have a plan. We have a path to be efficient, to become more lighter. But the left door spirits do not. They do not. They have lack of empathy. They do not. They have narcissism, and I'm going to just capitalize on that just a little bit more, because we in Earth's term we throw out that narcissism quite easily. But I have to say that a left door spirit, and this is where I'm going to kind of talk about my experiences with left door spirits. They are the pureness of narcissism. And when I say that, they are only with themselves. They do not have any interest in anybody else. They have no empathy, but, and this is how they exist on this earth plane, they create quite a facade. They create quite an appearance to others that make them look and feel it is a presentation that they choose to show, a wolf in lamb's clothing almost. And again, doesn't mean that they are going to commit heinous acts. We have lighted spirits that do that as well. Right? It doesn't mean they don't either. I can't. There are those spirits as well, left door spirits that can do heinous acts as well. And I'm just going to leave that as I'm not going to dive deeper into that with this. But when I'll give you one experience. So I had met this person and thought that they were very earthly, usual, normal. It was a male, and gave this air of responsibility and wants to do the right thing and A, B, and C. And then one day, I saw this aspect of this individual through a question that was asked to me, and I won't repeat that because it was a question that really raised my lighted hairs on the back of my neck. And said that question to me in terms of my husband and our relations. And this was not he was not permitted to go there with me. But I was the hairs on the back of my neck just stood up. And when I looked into his eyes, my spirit just saw his eyes just black. And that was a vision I had not seen with him prior. Maybe I choose to see the light in others. Maybe, again, it was spirit to spirit. And from that moment on, I was questioning. So I went to spirit and I asked, and this spirit is left door. And so when this spirit is left door, once I became aware of that, again, this was not a spirit that was going to commit, a heinous acts, although I cannot guarantee that wouldn't happen, but not in my eyes view. But I could see the lack of empathy and the pretendness of the empathy, and that is the biggest earmarks I just want to pass along to you. Again, my spirit's much higher, and I just created boundaries and said, you know what, we're done. I'll be polite because I had to be. We were colleagues. We worked in the same kind of area, but I'm going to just let that be. I'm not going to open more to this person with my light. And so again, that was a left door spirit. I know it is. I validated that. But again, it wasn't going to hurt me. But I could see it in its fashion. And I do feel as though my spirit wanted that experience. And so I was brought to that experience in not that he followed light, but my light understood at that very moment. And it was almost like a lightning bolt, an epiphany. And it was just like, wow, here it is. And once I opened to it, I have seen others. But again, I don't walk my day looking for left door spirits. Again, minuscule amounts. I don't look for them. I don't fear them. I don't fear lighted aspects of darkness. I do have fear in my human journey for reasons of purposelessness, but not in spirit. And so I give that to you as well, to just keep walking your light, right? Keep walking your light. It is always going to be stronger. Next question. Are all spirits in left door dark and evil? No fear here. Let me just explain. When you do not have light in your heart, their hearts are void, but not necessarily evil, or that word, or however you sit with that word. That word puts a scare in us, doesn't it? That word evil, or we conjure up visions or movies that we saw and polarize that. That's not what left door spirits are about. That word does put a scare in us when we kind of move into the evil, but that is not what supports them. Just as I gave that quick example, I'm choosing not to extend my friendship to that person any longer, even though I will be polite as my human journey needs to be. I put boundaries, and I very, very securely put them with my spirit. Can't touch me. Can't touch me. But let's remember that, again, the dark gray, lighted souls, when they incarnate, they can be just as challenging. So I keep saying that because left doors really, they're not, in our walk, in our existence, they're not a lot different than what we experience in lighted hearts. I just really, I want to just define that their hearts are just void of light. They lack empathy. Even though they might look like they do, they don't. And they are narcissists, not in our humanness, but truly in the essence of their beings. They're all about themselves. That's all that matters. No one else matters. And so, have I ever met that left door spirit? And I talked about that just a couple minutes ago. And again, they hide it well from the public. They hide it well from your eyes. They hide it well from me. And I have that, that light pulse or that light sensor. And it was at that very moment, or that question, that I was like, what was that? And again, that aha moment from my spirit going, okay. And that person didn't recognize my obvious fence that I put up. That person just kept talking, and I just moved away from that. So again, empathy means you cannot read somebody else, or not. In their cases, they don't care to read anyone else. They're all about themselves. So that person, he really couldn't see that I shut him off. Because they don't have those feelings. They don't exist in their hearts. And so, should I be afraid of a left door spirit? No. And again, they generally they walk right by you. And if you see through their shallow veneer, there was another left door spirit that seems like a family man. That again, I guess I'm using two males. I'm sure that I can give you some examples of females, but I'm just going to stay with this one and keep walking. And so this one is a male again. Looks like a family man. Looks like from the human eyes, human, not spirit, human eyes, looks like doing great things in this lifetime. Again, they hide behind that shield of Earth's facade, right? Not that this person is going to do, I can't guarantee, nor can I guarantee a lighted heart cannot do unspeakable acts too, but just again, a lack of empathy. And this person is married and has children, and so obviously their children have chosen this challenge to be to come into this lifetime of a father that has a lack of empathy or void. Maybe his spirit wants to learn. Maybe his spirit wants to lean more into light. Maybe this is a lifetime where maybe he's going to say in his spirit, "Let me open. This serves me more." Again, our spirits make those choices, and maybe that's a choice that he's making. Maybe it's not. Maybe he will choose to be void of heart his whole lifetime, and that will be his spirit's choice, because we are given free will. But it is never a set aspect where this is what you chose, this is what you get for your entire lifetime. No, we are manifesting, and we're always trying to. I can't say in left door spirits that they're always trying to ascend, but they might be testing out a lifetime to see if, or maybe certain spirits will come into their path and create that lighted change for them. That is always a lighted hope, and it is never shut off. It is never that door is never closed. Light is always open for any and all that choose it. Our life path can be difficult, and at times we make choices that seem unspeakable by earthly standards. Yet even so, our heart, our light is always welcome into the kingdom of heaven. There are no tests, no judgments, only love. Free will is an eternal gift, and one that stays with us always, even as we transition from this earthly life and choose our way home. The left door does exist for those spirits who are not yet ready or willing to step into the light. It is simply a choice, and that choice brings no harm to us, nor does it alter our journey here on earth or our return to the light. These spirits, these left door spirits, are never forgotten or abandoned. They are lovingly held in light, and they may choose to step into it whenever they are ready. We are all creations of Source, each of us divinely loved. And there is never a need to fear another spirit, for your own light and your free will are always stronger than anything that does not carry light. Light always prevails, for light is always aligned with truth, peace, and love. Trust your light, and have a beautiful day. Thank you for allowing me to accompany you on your journey today. There's so much for us to explore and learn together. If there's a light-filled topic you're curious about, or if you just want to reach out, I'd love to connect. Follow me on social media at Cheryl Bradley Medium, or visit CherylBradley.com to explore my offerings and events. I hope today's episode has filled you with the light to carry with you until we meet again. And let the title of this podcast stay with you today and every day. If it's light, it's right. Blessings on your journey.